Alright, picture this. You've got a chunk of change sitting in your Ally bank account. Maybe it's your emergency fund, maybe it's savings for a down payment, or maybe it's just the result of some smart budgeting. Now, something comes up. Life happens. You need access to that money. But here's the burning question, the one that's probably keeping you up at night. How much can you actually pull out? Is there a secret limit? Are there hidden fees waiting to pounce? We've all been there, right? That moment of financial anxiety when you need your funds, and you're not entirely sure what the rules are. Banks, with their fine print and jargon, can sometimes feel like impenetrable fortresses. So, let's cut through the noise and get straight to the point about Ally Bank withdrawals. First, let's establish a fundamental truth. Ally Bank is an online bank. This means there are no physical branches you can stroll into with a withdrawal slip. This also means you need to be a little more strategic about how you access your money. Now, the good news is, for most everyday transactions, Ally Bank doesn't impose strict daily or monthly withdrawal limits. You won't find a hard cap on how much you can move out of your savings or checking account in a single day, like some traditional brick-and-mortar banks might. This is a significant advantage, especially if you need to make a large, unexpected payment. However, that doesn't mean it's a complete free-for-all. There are still some important factors to consider, and these factors are where things get a little more nuanced. Let's break it down by method. 1. Online transfers. This is the most common way to move money out of your Ally account. You can transfer funds electronically to another bank account you own. Ally doesn't typically set a daily limit on these transfers, but there are a few caveats. Your linked account's limits. The receiving bank might have its own transfer limits. So, even if Ally allows you to send a large sum, your other bank might restrict the amount you can receive in a single day. Security holds. For very large transfers, or transfers to accounts you haven't used frequently, Ally might place a temporary security hold. This is to protect you from fraud. They might reach out to verify the transfer, which can delay the process by a day or two. ACH limits, automatic clearing house, ACH, transfers, the backbone of online bank transfers, do have inherent limitations. While Ally doesn't typically enforce them, extremely large transfers might trigger scrutiny from the ACH network itself. 2. ATM withdrawals. Ally Bank is part of the Allpoint ATM network, which gives you access to thousands of fee-free ATMs nationwide. So, how much can you pull out at an ATM? ATM limits. Each ATM has its own withdrawal limit, which can vary significantly. Some ATMs might allow you to withdraw only a few $100s at a time, while others might allow more. Your debit card limit. Ally sets a daily ATM withdrawal limit on your debit card. This limit is generally reasonable for everyday use, but it's important to know what it is. You can usually find this information in your online account settings or by contacting Ally customer service. Out-of-network fees. If you use an ATM outside the Allpoint network, you'll likely incur a fee from the ATM operator. Ally also charges a fee, but they do reimburse up to $10 per statement cycle for out-of-network ATM fees. 3. Checks. Writing a check is another way to access your funds. While there's no inherent limit on the amount you can write a check for, there are some considerations. Account balance. Obviously, you can't write a check for more than what's in your account. Check clearing time. Checks take time to clear, so the funds won't be immediately available to the recipient. Potential holds. For large checks, or checks to unfamiliar recipients, Ally might place a hold on the funds until the check clears. 4. Wire transfers. For very large transfers, or international transfers, wire transfers might be necessary. Ally does offer wire transfers, but they come with fees. Wire transfer fees. Ally charges fees for both domestic and international wire transfers. These fees can be significant, so it's important to factor them into your decision. Wire transfer limits. Ally doesn't typically set strict wire transfer limits, but they might require additional verification for large transfers. International wire transfer considerations. International wire transfers can be more complex and might involve additional fees from intermediary banks. 5. Cashback at point of sale. When you use your Ally debit card at a store or restaurant, you can often get cash back. The amount of cash back you can get is usually limited by the store's policy. Key takeaways. For most everyday transactions, Ally Bank doesn't impose strict daily or monthly withdrawal limits. ATM withdrawals are limited by both the ATM itself and your Ally debit card's daily limit. Online transfers are generally flexible, but security holds and receiving bank limits can apply. Checks and wire transfers are options for larger amounts, but they have their own considerations, including potential fees and clearing times. Contacting Ally customer service is always the best way to get definitive answers about specific withdrawal scenarios. It's crucial to remember that Ally Bank prioritizes security. This means that any unusual or suspicious activity might trigger a review. While this can be inconvenient, it's ultimately in your best interest. So, how do you avoid any potential hiccups when you need to access your money? Plan ahead. If you know you'll need to withdraw a large sum, contact Ally customer service in advance to discuss your options. Link multiple accounts. Having multiple linked accounts can provide flexibility and help you avoid exceeding any individual bank's transfer limits. Understand your limits. Familiarize yourself with your daily ATM withdrawal limit and any other relevant limits. Keep your information updated. Ensure your contact information is up to date so Ally can reach you if they need to verify a transaction. Use Ally's tools. Ally offers online tools and resources to help you manage your account and understand their policies. Ultimately, Ally Bank provides a relatively flexible and convenient way to access your funds. While there are some considerations to keep in mind, you're generally free to withdraw your money as needed. Just remember to be aware of any potential fees, limits, and security measures. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.